We're very lucky to have with us tonight the head coach of the All Blacks, Ian Foster. G'day, how are you doing? What did you make of that first up hit out across the ditch?
Evening all. Thanks for having me. And Reds Chiefs here, and by the way, Damien got red carded in that game, and that sort of helped the Chiefs lose that. So just thought I'd add my trivia knowledge to it.
Nice.
Hey!
Could have texted me, Fozzie.
I tried to ask you, Fozzie. I tried to ask you in the break and they wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
You should have asked, Batesy.
I did. They wouldn't let me.
It's cheating. You can't cheat, not on my watch. So, Fozzie, what do you reckon? How do you think the weekend went?
Oh, look, I thought it was really good. It's it's a competition that, well, I guess what I applaud is that we're trying something a bit different. We're getting all the five New Zealand teams over there and playing against the Australians. I think it's a great initiative, and it's I guess the competition will reflect back and review how it went. But I think it's a great thing that we're trying to adapt and add a bit of a new dimension to Super Rugby.
Fozzie, you've added to the staff just recently. Has that come from your review from last year? How's that come? And if you need a red wine consultant, I'm available.
Yeah, I've been waiting actually, JK, and I've heard you got some nice wines, so I'm looking forward to catching up. So it's well, look, there's always going to be a bit of change. We've had we've got Foxy leaving after the Irish series, so we've got he's going to be replaced by Joe Smith, which is pretty well advertised, and we just sort of felt that after last year, through the review, we just really believe we've got a growing number of players, or I guess new players at the international level, and we just felt our overall skill level could add with a bit of a boost, and that's why in behind the scenes we've added Straws into the mix for that regard. So he brings a bit of a focus on the micro part of the game, and is going to work alongside the coaches to make sure that we're really at cutting edge at that point.
Fozzie, so you talked about the review, and you're watching Super Rugby. Are you seeing the players that you think you can that you need that can address what's come up in the review?
Yeah, look, I think so. Part of the review is extremely positive about some of the things that we went through. Without dwelling on last year, it was a very unique year. One like probably the All Blacks have never had before. So. Yeah, and that brought up some challenges, brought up a whole lot of exciting things too. Normally in the third year of a World Cup cycle, you're probably starting to try to build your depth, whereas we were sort of forced to do that last year with the 10 tests, 12 weeks, I guess with MIQ and all that sort of stuff. So, we've got a good base of players, and that's why Super Rugby this year has been so important for us, because we've had, we had up to 40 players at the end of the campaign last year, and so giving them all an opportunity to go and show how much they've learned, and I guess put their hand up for this year. So, and there's a few doing that.
Fozzie, I've got to ask you, you've played Super Rugby, you've coached in Super Rugby, and now you rely heavily on it to give you the players for the highest level. In your mind, what do you see as the purpose of the Super Rugby competition?
Oh, look, your players need to play, and we want a high quality sort of international type competition where we can, test ourselves against, players from, I guess, within and also in other countries. So, it's changed around a lot, Super Rugby, over many, many years. When rugby went professional and it started, everyone thought it'd be the downfall of New Zealand rugby because we wouldn't be able to deal in the professional era. But we've shown that, we've got some great franchises there at the moment, all doing a lot of work in terms of the development, linking with the provincial unions and the system. Whilst we critique it hard and we talk a lot about its weaknesses, it's also got a massive degree of strength to it, and it has helped support an All Black team that is consistently been able to perform at the top sort of echelon. And so we just keep having a tough, even competition, and where possible, as many games against other country players as well.
So, Fozzie, do you think we're missing the South African side, and does that have an effect on you understanding one of our biggest foe?
Oh, look, it's a I could say something and it'd probably give a few headlines, but at the end of the day, it's been well documented why South Africa aren't in it at the moment. The travel would have been impossible the last 2 or 3 years. And before that, a lot of the South African players, top players, were leaving and playing in Europe, which sort of weakened their teams. But look, in an ideal world, I loved having South Africa in the competition. They brought a different style, and now we've just got to find other ways to grow our experience of playing them.
Fozzie, I want to ask you the fact we've seen, obviously there's been a lot of attention brought to the fact, and you mentioned the red card to Damien McKenzie last year, and it has all of a sudden, it's been high profile, right? The fact that a number of players have suffered this year. Are you concerned at the scrutiny now and the fact that, do you think it's going to have an impact at test level?
Look, it will have an impact at test level, no doubt about that. I think we saw that in 2019 at the World Cup when this initiative really hit home and started. They've certainly been ramping it up this year, I think, and we've got to learn. We've got to learn as players, and it's there's, I think when you analyse it, Goldie, I think we have improved the quality of our tackler, and I think I see a lot of tacklers. You don't see too many red cards for tacklers hitting the ball carrier high. But a lot of the problem seems to be the tackle assist. It's the second guy coming in. And I think it's one of those things in the game where defence coaches, we're all trying to get, 2 in the tackle to win that collision. It's often the second guy coming in who's not making that late adjustment based on the body change in the tackle. So it's an area we've got to really think deeply about how hard we send that second man in and whether it's worth it at times.
Fozzie, if you look at the stocks you've got round, back to the players, if you look at the stocks you got round, what do you reckon when you've got to pick your squad in a little while, what do you reckon the one area that's going to be the hardest to pick, where there's going to be some good players that are going to miss out? Where's your stocks the best, mate?
Well, we're the best and we're the hardest. It's, I think we've got some big decisions to make. I think, it's well documented. We've got some big decisions to make in the midfield. We've probably got some big decisions to make in the loose forwards. I'd also put the front row in that category as well. It's, last year we went away with, we were forced to take 8 props with us last year. And so, we won't be taking 8 props this year. And so there will be some tough decisions. And clearly, we've the last 2 years, we've had a lot of opportunities for a number of new players to come in and put their hand up, and many of them have actually played really, really well. And so you look at some of our loose forwards and some of the versatility we've got. The Ethan Blackadders, the Akira who's got coming back. I guess the rise of Dalton has all added a little bit of complexity, but that's exciting for us.
How many do you plan on picking?
36 at this stage, Laura. So it's 36 for the first squad. That's sort of a standard Steinlager series size squad. But that can change, maybe it won't go up, but it could change slightly down based on injuries and who we have left standing after Super Rugby.
Fozzie, I say it every week, 18 tests to go. So actually not that many. Does that influence what you're going to do around your selection for the 15 that go out there? Because that's not a lot of time to get combinations going.
Yeah, look, good question. I think if you look at a normal World Cup cycle, you normally spend 2 years, I guess, really cementing your culture, your team, your plan. You spend your 3rd year really building your depth and honing it down, and then your 4th year you just go and do it at a World Cup. And we've probably had to flip that over a little bit, JK. Like the first 2 years with the circumstance we got dealt with, we really, we basically had to leave the shores with big squads. So we've really had a depth strategy the last 2 years. And this year we've got to hone that right down. So, in many ways, whilst picking the 30, 34, 36-man squad is going to be tough, and it always is, but a lot of our energy right now is on the combinations within that. It's within the 15 down to the 23, because this year we've really got to, I think you'll see us focus more on cementing combinations and having a bit more continuity in how we select the group.
Ian Foster, I want to thank you so much for your time this evening. We really appreciate it. I know you've had a busy weekend in Gisborne, so thank you, and we'll see you again very soon.
Fozzie, stay tuned though. JK's 23 is coming up.
He's
Part
got some
3.
big
His 23
ideas.
is coming up. So see how he goes.
Yeah. Like,
That's probably his golf score on the first 2 holes.
Ian Foster, head coach for the All Blacks.